We are good to go. Alrighty. So, Mr. Cool, as all the kids call you, why don't you take a few minutes, share a couple of the key moments in your life that you can think of that really helped shape you and make you who you are today and make you the man of God that you are. What are some key dates to bullet points? Some key moments.
Um, well, I did move up from Sacramento when I was about 10, so that kind of uh, made me stretch my boundaries of what I could handle at the time, and then so that I could learn to develop and gain more strength and like trusting in myself that I can get through life. By doing that, I came up here and I've made some great friends that I enjoy hanging around with, and I do wish to go back at home sometimes, but if I did that, then I leave everybody here behind, and it's like I couldn't do that to them. So moving up here was a nice experience. Maybe not at the time, but it was, in the end, it was a very nice experience to have in my life as an event. Maturing events like getting a car, getting a job, going to college, graduating high school, those are events that would help shape me to who I am today. So just like the major events that like help me mature and grow older and be able to learn what I can or cannot do and how I can use that as I mature with God. And then all the retreats I get to go on, those are nice. I love the retreats I get to go on. They're the events that help me learn more about Christ, where I would probably just be sitting at home most of the times, doing my stuff if I didn't have events like the retreats.
So on the retreats, let's touch on that. So one of the first opportunities I had to really get to know you and hang out with you for an extended period of time was at our fall retreat this last October out the coast. Zombie Fest, as we like to refer to it. For those who weren't there, our theme of the retreat this year was The Walking Dead, the fact that we are dead in our transgressions and made alive in Christ. So we don't normally promote zombie apparel, but for this weekend it was kind of the thing we did. So having the chance to get to know you and hang out with you a little bit more, why don't you share a little bit about the impact that those gatherings, so the fall retreat in October, and then just a couple weeks ago, Momentum up at Mount Hood. What are some things that you gleaned from those? What are some ways in which God stretched you and helped you to grow in your maturity in that time?
He helped me mature by providing me with more friends that shared Christ with me than just at my church, so I could find people here on campus that love God just as much as I did. So getting to go to retreats with other people that was probably one of the reasons I liked going on the retreats, just because of all the people that I got to hang out with, and then the lessons that we learned. Those were very insightful, and I did take more home with me on Momentum than I did on the Zombie Fall Retreat, but they both provided their own significant feelings and thoughts that helped me understand more about God and what He might have planned for me.
So you mentioned Momentum. So the theme of Momentum this year, for those who weren't there, was step up. And the idea is we all are called to step up as disciples. To step up means to step into kingdom service. And there's a lot of times things that prevent us from doing that. There's roadblocks, and there's things that stop us from stepping up. So why don't you share on that briefly? What were some roadblocks in your life that were maybe keeping you from stepping up and being more effective as a disciple? And what are some opportunities God's put in front of you for you to step up both here and now and in the near future?
Roadblocks I found at Momentum, the big one was I'm not a risk taker.
Who here in this room is a risk taker? Who here likes to play it safe and steady?
Depends what the reward is.
A gummy bear. Would you jump over a cliff for a gummy bear, Ben? A really big one? Bella would, apparently. She does love her sugar. All right, so back to that. So you're not a big risk taker. So.
No, I rather keep what I have and not lose it. I'm afraid of like losing what I have, and then I'm afraid of the things that could happen if it went wrong. So I don't like to take many risks in life. Yeah, momentum helped me understand more that that's something I have a roadblock in, and yeah, it kind of is prohibiting me from moving forward a bit. I don't really focus on the risk taking right now because I have other stuff that I'm trying to work on inside of me, but at some point I do need to figure that out. I don't know how yet, but yeah, like risking my friendships, risking my job, risking what I have or something that I can gain, but then I don't like the chances that I can also lose it. So it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the fear of what you might lose, the fear of losing what we might have, can prevent us from having that which is even greater. The known is safer than the unknown.
Yes.
So what are some opportunities God's put in front of you right now to step up right here in this time and in the near future that you're excited about?
Well, it seems like there's going to be less leadership in this room for like Tanner leaving, Andrew's leaving, so there'd be more opportunities to stand up in here and take some more prominent roles. And then I'm going to Western this fall.
Go
So,
Wolves.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go there part-time so I can work full-time and probably pay off the loans I will have to take out in a year and a half. But Campus Ambassadors is now moving out, is reaching out. They're taking a risk to reach out to Western and develop a CA over there. So having the chance to go, being the chance I have of going to Western, and I have been accepted, being accepted to Western, and the fact that Campus Ambassadors, which I love coming to, the fact that they're moving out there as well has to mean something. Like, there's like no other way to explain it. There has to be a reason why. At the time I'm going to go to Western, Campus Ambassadors is going to follow me. So I'm hoping to take a role in there instead of like just being in the crowd and like just going there just to be a part of it. Probably like, and maybe something more prominent than computers, even though I don't mind the computer business. I don't mind the computers and whatnot, but maybe a more important and major role that I can help influence people at Western CA. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, to the new opportunity God's put in front of you. Whereas again, it's easy sometimes to come along on the foundation that's already been built versus starting something new.
So it's a lot easier for me to continue with something that has started than trying to start something on my own, because if I try starting, most of the time when I start starting something on my own, I don't know where to start, and it takes me a lot longer just to figure out on my own how to get things started. So having a foundation for me to already begin at and continue with, those are a lot easier to deal with, and that's what Western CA is going to be with. So I'm looking forward to that.
As long as Liv doesn't drive you crazy.
It will drive her crazy. It's a guarantee.
As she should. Now we're very excited to see what God's going to do out at WU's campus. The soil is very ripe. We know that for certain, and we just need people to go out and labor in the fields. So thank you for stepping up
Yeah.
that aspect. Thank you for being willing to risk, for being willing to step into a new horizon. And while we'll be sad to lose you in the fall, we're excited that.
I'm not leaving here.
Well,
I'm coming here.
Yeah,
I'm coming to
okay.
both CAs.
Well, yes, yes, but we'll lose you in a degree. We won't have you the same way as before.
Yes.
Even though you'll still be partially here at Chemeketa.
Yeah.
We're excited to see that God is exporting people like you and people like Liv every day for the sake of His kingdom service. So thank you for stepping up. Thank you for taking that
Yeah.
risk. So just a couple more questions, really quick. So throughout this walk of yours, throughout all the events that have brought you to this point, what has been the importance of Christian community? How would you explain to somebody the importance of doing life together, doing your walk with Christ together, rather than just one-on-one with you and Jesus? What's the importance of having a community like your CA family here and like your church family?
I believe that God created us for community, for a relationship. He created us to have a relationship with Him, and by God creating women, He allowed us to have the opportunity to have conversations with humanity and God Himself. So having relationships is an important thing to have in life, because if one were to isolate himself, eventually he could go senile or very protective and not very open-hearted to let other people in to help him or her understand things better. And if we don't have a relationship, we can't compare, we can't contrast ourselves with others, and we can't learn if we don't have those who will go against us, conflict, those who don't. If we only hang out with ourselves, we can't learn what is right or wrong from others.
Well, iron sharpens iron, even if it hurts at times. It's a risk to be in a relationship, because if you let somebody get close to you, they can hurt you.
Yes.
They can bring you joy, but they can also hurt you really bad. Isolation is easy. It's simple and it's predictable. So, well, thank you for sharing about that. I have one final question. If somebody were to ask you, who is this Jesus guy and why is he so important? What would you say to them?
Never really had to. I just never I never had that time where I just focus on that answer, like how would someone answer me that, but I would say this Jesus character is the...
Like he's in a Disney movie. This is Jesus character.
The Jesus character, yeah. Jesus is the Son of God. He died on the cross to pay for the sins that we have and will commit, and without him, we would all be trapped. We would be trapped in sin for our entire lives, and we would never be able to live eternally with God, who created us in the first place. And God is love, and without God, there would be no love in this world, and everything would just probably be chaotic.
Well said, Caleb. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing something that was a little bit uncomfortable today. It wasn't always easy. It was taking a risk and being vulnerable and sharing yourself, sharing what God's done in your life. Does anyone want to come up and help me pray for Caleb right now? Ask God's blessing on him. On Mr. Cool.
You guys are natural.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
You can present somebody.
That would
Oh yeah.
If there was a running mate named Bored or Lame and Cool ticket, there you go. Marissa, why don't you lead us in prayer for Caleb?
God, I just want to thank you for giving us this time, and I want to thank you for Caleb and everything that you've made him to be. God, you are working in his life and through his life. You're working through him on this campus, and I thank you for that, all the lives that you're touching through him. I want to ask that you would protect him and bless his life. I want to ask that you would give him courage to take risks, and that you would fill him with your fruit so that he can then give that to the people around him, and he can make an impact on every life that he comes into contact with. God, I thank you again for everything that you're going to do through him at Western. I ask that you would go before him and go with him through when going to Western, and that you would guide him, God, and that he would have the ears to listen to where you have called him. We thank you, Lord, and we love you. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you so much.